and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to have you guys back here today. Thank you so much for coming. I am very thankful to those of you that keep supporting my channel and you keep coming back. And if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. I hope you like what you see, and if you don't, subscribe anyway. One of these days I'm sure I'll post something you will like, okay? Anyways, so today, as indicated by the title of this video, I'm just so thankful and grateful to be alive 10 years after the devil tried to take my life. I do not take it for granted. I have to thank God. I have to thank my family. I have to thank my husband, friends, loved ones, everybody that has been a form of support to me. Even strangers that I have never met before are somehow a part of my story. And just because I am so grateful and so thankful, and I just feel like new life was given to me after I almost died, I'm like, you know what, I should celebrate. I should do something on this 10th anniversary, and this video is going to be that something, because let's face it, the car accident was very bad and I was told that I only survived as a miracle. So I mean, 10 years later, I am here, I am alive, I am doing a lot of the things they told me I wouldn't be able to do, doing better than my diagnosis was at the time of the car accident. I have regained some things that they didn't think was possible to regain. Yes, I am still on a wheelchair, but there's just so much that I cannot begin to list that has happened that I didn't even know was possible. So because of that, I'm thankful, I'm happy, I'm here, I'm doing this video, I feel great. So let's get into it. There will be no point to this video if I am not honest with you guys. It's not been an easy ride. It's not been all fairies and happiness, and it's not been easy, just for lack of a better word. However, it's been doable. It's been possible, and it's been an interesting ride. It's not been what I thought my life would be when I was a teenager, but I have so much blessings that I would have to be the most ungrateful child in the world to not thank God today, 10 years later, for my life. I'm not like, I don't want to do this video so monotony, but for the part of how the accident happened, there's just no way to do it in a perky voice. Like, I want to be perky, like, okay, so I was driving and then I had a car accident, but it's not possible because it's not possible. I was going back to school on March 23rd, 2008. I decided to take my car to school. I figured I would drive behind a friend who was also going back to school, and we began the journey from Texas to Oklahoma. I was told that on our way, almost in school, we were already in Oklahoma, that my car flipped over a couple of times, and that was that. As most people like to ask, no, it wasn't raining. I wasn't drunk. A truck didn't eat me. Nothing happened. Nobody knows how it happened that my car just started flipping over. Like I said before, I was driving behind a friend and she saw everything happen, and from her tales of what happened and from the eyewitnesses and the police officers, my car just flipped over, and that was that. 10 years later and I still don't remember anything. The last thing I remembered was that I was driving to school behind my friend. I wasn't on the phone because I made sure to not be on the phone. I was listening to a Nigerian musician cassette in my car, and the song I was listening to was Jesus I Thank You, Welu Welu. I don't know what's in I do, will make you love me so. I will never forget that song. That's all I remembered. But anyways, fast forward to the next memory I have of the car accident. I felt that I was upside down and a police officer was asking me questions like my name, my dad's phone number, my social security number, and a couple of things. And I was like, what happened here? I feel like I'm upside down. And the police officer told me that, yes, you are upside down. You have been involved in a car accident, and I need you to keep talking to me. Don't sleep off. Well, I answered all of the police officer's questions to the best of my ability, and he kept trying to get me to talk. And after a while, I remembered that I started reciting this thing that we recite at the end of every church service in the church I attended back then. It was a Bible verse that we turned into a personal, what's the English word I'm looking for? A personal declaration after service. It says, I shall live, I shall not die. I shall live to declare the glory of the Lord, to declare the works of the Lord, to declare the counsel of the Lord in the land of the living in this year 2000 and whatever year it was 2008 back then. So I said in this year 2008 and several years to come. So I just kept saying that over and over again because the police officer had told me that I needed to keep talking and stay awake and not sleep. So I kept saying it. I shall live, I shall not die. I shall live to declare the glory of the Lord, to declare the works of the Lord, the counsel of the Lord in the land of the living in this year 2008 and several years to come. That's pretty much all I remember. Like, a lot of the things I don't really remember. I just remember glimpses and pieces, like, oh, I was being rolled into a room, rolled out of a room, transported here, transported there. And then of course I remember that I saw my dad in the hospital. My dad came to Oklahoma, and I remember bits and pieces of being in the hospital. I was in the ICU. I had a couple of surgeries. Of course, they had to work on my spinal cord. I had a broken femur. I had a rod put in my left leg. I couldn't use my arms. I couldn't move my shoulders. I could only nod my head. I had like a little thing stabilizing my head. I had a neck brace. It was not the prettiest sight, but you know, it was a bad accident, so it wasn't the prettiest sight. But I remember not really remembering a lot. But I was in ICU for about a month, going into 2 months, and then I was moved to the normal floor, medical surge floor, and then from the med surge floor I was moved to inpatient rehab there in Oklahoma, and I went through therapy. While I was in therapy, I started getting back some functions, like I could move my wrist. I started being able to do a couple of things that I couldn't do before. Like, it was, explaining this is just terrible. I just can't do it with this is gonna have to be like a book, or yeah, because I just can't bring myself to VR-shing everything in front of a camera. It's so weird. So I'm gonna stop. I know this is not why you started watching this video. There was nothing pretty about being in ICU or being in the hospital for months, or going to inpatient therapy, or not being able to use your hands. I was a teenager, so I mean, while I somehow managed to have, I don't know how, but while I somehow managed to have a good outlook on everything that was happening to me while it was happening, I still cannot explain how, except to say God just somehow saw me through. I remember just not giving so much thought to the fact that I could no longer use my legs as they were telling me. Like, the doctors would tell you everything that was going on with you. They didn't hide anything from me. I knew that I couldn't move my arms because I couldn't move my arms, you know. I knew that I couldn't move my legs. I knew that the doctors and the nurses were in there every day trying to make sure I was still breathing. I was taking breathing treatments. I mean, it's so gory, and I just don't want to bore you with a lot of the things that I went through, because there's just no need, you know. Like, we be past that. It's okay. We're past it. Maybe one day I'll write a book detailing all of that stuff, but I just don't find it okay, like, talking about it in front of a camera. Maybe if I had a guest and we're talking about it, maybe then it would be easy. But like, I don't see the point in telling you like everything that I went through. It wasn't pretty. I don't have to tell you it wasn't pretty. I had a spinal cord injury. I couldn't move my shoulders at some point. I couldn't move my arms at some point. I couldn't even like do this at some point. All I could do was this. So it's like, I can't bring myself to saying all of that. Like, I cannot tell you the journey of 10 years sitting in front of this camera right now, you know? However, what I can tell you is that it has been an interesting journey that I know I would not have been able to go through without God Almighty, without my family, without my positive outlook on life, without my faith, without breaking down sometimes. Yes, that came along. That was in the territory too. Some days I would break down. I couldn't be here today without actually allowing myself to go through the loss, the grieving process, the acceptance, the realization that there's still so much life to live, and just the thankfulness that God gave me a second chance at life. And while this video certainly will not have any like gory photos of me being on a hospital bed, or you know, telling you details of how I pooped on myself at some point, peed on myself at a lot of points, or fell down, or couldn't do anything, or felt like, oh, life was gonna be over. Like, that's not what this video is about, because those things did happen. I mean, another video for another day, which probably wouldn't happen because I don't see the point. But this video is just 10 years later and I am still here, still living, thanking God for my life, grateful, just grateful for everybody He has placed in my life. I've traveled to places that I didn't think was possible. I have done so much. Oh God, so much, you guys. I've gotten married. You know, I'm starting a family with the man that I love. We're blessed. I am blessed. And I just thank God for all He has helped me through. All He has helped me to go through it all. And this video is probably for somebody out there. You guys see on my channel, I don't sit down every day in front of the camera to keep drawing attention to the fact that I'm on a wheelchair. I love to use this channel to just showcase that life goes on no matter what you're going through. Now, I know everybody's story is different. I will not sit here and tell you that it's easy. I will not sit here and tell you that your journey will be easy. But what I can tell you is that if you choose to have faith and choose to just keep on going, you will make it. I just hope that with this video, somebody out there can see that at the end of the day, if you are still living, you are breathing, there's still so much life to be lived. And I pray from the bottom of my heart that you receive everything you need to continue going on, to continue pushing forward, to continue finding a reason to be happy, to live your life to the best of your ability. I'm using today to actually take a minute and tell myself that well done, because your young self didn't think it was possible, but she decided to hold on to Christ and her faith. And here you are, 10 years later, still living, still breathing, a lot of love in your life, a lot of accomplishments, a lot of things you didn't show the world that you were scared you might never be able to do. But you've done them, and I'm proud of you. Talking to myself, because my family and friends and the people who know me, if you guys are watching this, thank you for all the times you all made me. Thank you for always making me feel like I was still me. Not once did you all ever treat me like I was still not me. Not once. Not when I was in ICU. Not ever did any of my family members make me feel like I was no longer lazy? I don't want to cry in front of the camera. Not ever did any of my friends, my true friends, make me feel like because I'm in a wheelchair, I could no longer be their friend. And I just want to thank you all. I mean, you guys are probably gonna watch this, so I can't not thank you. And this video is just going to be all over the place, y'all. 10 years ago, a car accident happened that I thought was actually, I'm trying to remember what I thought 10 years ago, if I actually thought about where I would be today. And I don't remember. I remember just thinking, take it one day at a time, because God will not make you go through something He cannot help you through. I don't have any like, oh, I went through depression story. I know those things make stories sweeter, but I don't have that, because somehow I just kept on taking it one day at a time and believing that I will walk again. But knowing that even if I don't, God still got me. And that's just it. Like, some people ask me, do you still have faith that you're gonna walk again? And I'm like, yes, of course I do. I could walk again right now, tomorrow, next minute. But I'm not going to stop my whole life just focusing on the fact that until I walk again, then, you know, I'm not gonna do anything. No. I'm gonna keep living life until that happens. My faith is still strong. I know there's nothing God cannot do. I believe that by whatever means He wants to use, or by a miracle, it's possible. But until then, I'm just gonna keep living my life, keep being my best self, keep going through the motions, because we all go through motions in life, you know. Who's to say if I don't have a spinal cord injury, I wouldn't be going through something even much worse, you know? So I want to sit in front of this camera and act like I have it all figured out. But I do know that I'd rather live a life of gratitude, optimism, and happiness, joy, than live a life full of regrets, you know, sadness, and stagnation. No, I don't want that life. So that's why I choose to just be who I am. And yeah, 10 years later, I'm glad I chose to go the route of having faith in God that He will see me through this journey. Definitely very glad I did. Definitely very glad, and thankful to God for everything He has done. There's nothing else to say. So thank you for watching. Please celebrate my life with me. Please don't throw a pity party in the comment section, you know. I'm going to spend the day probably doing nothing, honestly. Just gonna be another day, but definitely it will be a day, as every day, full of gratitude and the zeal to just keep on living even when everything is not okay. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like what you see, and if you don't, subscribe anyway. Alright, oh God. Okay, bye. Goodbye.